Good morning, beautiful people. Welcome to video 4 of the Holistic Healing video series. Hopefully you've had a chance to watch the previous 3 videos and possibly taken yourself through the little processes that I shared with you last week in order to get to those degenerative cellular memories and heal them, and also to reprogram the mind. So I know this is not an easy thing to do on your own, so hopefully you've had a little bit of success with that. And if not, please check out the lady who created the process. Her name is Brandon Bays. That process is called The Journey. So please check out her website, and there's a list of practitioners on there, and they're worldwide. So possibly you could find somebody in your area that could facilitate a process for you, because as you know, I've been mentioning time and time again, it's hugely powerful process. And yeah, it's just such a shame that we don't allow ourselves this opportunity of emotional healing, which is, remember, that's the cause of the majority of disease, that chaos at the atomic level, simply because we don't know how to, or we can't do it ourselves. But there is hundreds of practitioners around the world that can help you, so please check out that website. And Brandon's story is incredible. The reason this process even exists is she was healing herself from a cancer, basketball-sized cancer of the uterus, and she was guided to this process. And then she discovered in the core of this tumor that she had was a degenerative cellular memory. And so when she had the opportunity to find closure with everybody involved with that experience, she healed that cancer from a basketball-sized cancerous tumor in 6.5 weeks only. Of course, she took a holistic approach, so she was doing all the right things for the physical body and obviously meditation. But yeah, by finding that degenerative cellular memory, she was able to heal that cancer 6.5 weeks. So please give yourself the opportunity for healing. And if you have nothing that's manifested into the physical body right now, just know that it's still going to be massively beneficial, because what you're doing by actually accessing these degenerative memories and healing them is you're actually preventing disease from even coming about. And that's what we're going to talk about today. And what Brandon also discovered was that through her own healing journey was that, remember in video 2 we talked about how the instinctual thing to do when we're in a situation that's quite traumatic is to suppress our emotions and kind of just focus on trying to avoid the situation. That's, say if it was a car accident, you're not going to allow yourself to feel all the fear, you're just going to push that down and really focus on what you're doing to avoid the situation. But what Brandon discovered through her own healing journey also was that if you were to allow yourself to recreate that experience and just let yourself go through all of the traumatic emotions, so there might be fear, and then there might be anger, and then there might be whatever it may be, just allow yourself to go through and let all of that emotion come out without suppressing any of it. It would only take 6 days, and those emotions and that kind of memory would be healed forevermore. Whereas what we tend to do is we push these emotions down, and then for the rest of our life, a little bit comes out, and a little bit comes out, and a little bit comes out. So you can imagine in the case of grief, for so many people, they can't even allow themselves to think of a particular person that they've lost or that situation, because it's just way too painful. So they push that whole experience down. And then for the rest of their life, that's what's happening. A little bit of grief's coming out, and a little bit more grief, and a little bit more grief. But if you were to allow yourself just to fully sit in the heart of that experience and let all of those emotions be expressed, then you would be able to think about that person or that situation without any kind of like knot in the stomach or any other feelings that we get when we suppress the emotions. So it's hugely powerful, as I've been raving about, to really allow yourself the opportunity to express those emotions rather than keep them suppressed. So hopefully you've had some success with the process, and if so, it's probably become quite obvious that the things that are taking place today, when we have these really extreme emotions, it's not actually about what's taking place in that moment, but most often what's taken place today has just triggered something deeper that needs to be healed. And I remember when I was starting on all of this journey of emotional healing, I remember one morning saying to my son, "Can you please take the rubbish out before you go to school?" And then he went and jumped on the school bus, and I realised he hadn't taken the rubbish out. And I was absolutely furious. I remember thinking to myself in that moment, like, this is ridiculous. What are you carrying on like this about? Like, it was really extreme, the emotion that I was having. And so I thought to myself, you know what? It's not actually about him not taking the rubbish, because that's no big deal. I know that. So I stood there really still in the kitchen. I just allowed all of the emotions to come up and just be purged out. And it took me back to a memory of when I was 10. And I was saying in this memory, it's not fair. Like, why do I have to do everything? My mum and dad had asked me to do something, obviously, and I was chucking a bit of a tantrum about feeling like it was always me that got asked to do things. And yeah, I was able to find forgiveness and closure, of course, very easily with that situation. And then by the time my son came home that afternoon, it was amazing, because I was able to talk to him and just say, "Bo, why didn't you take the rubbish out before you got on the bus like I asked you?" And he's like, "Oh shit, sorry mum, I forgot," or whatever. And which he probably didn't forget, by the way. Probably did it very, very much on purpose. But anyway, and I was just able to talk to him in a very rational way. Whereas if I had have projected that stuff, which wasn't even about him, out in that moment, then, it would have just been ridiculous, because he would have copped all of my fury over something that was really very petty, and it wasn't even about him. It was my stuff that needed to be healed. And so that's what I'm really hoping that has become quite clear for you, so you can see why it's so important and powerful to heal the emotions, because it also prevents us from not even feeling the need. We do it unconsciously, projecting our stuff out onto other people. The other thing you may have noticed, if you had some success going through the emotional healing process, is that emotions are bloody painful. And, I've seen this so many times, well, also experienced it myself, but through the facilitating healing journeys, it's been incredible to watch the physical pain that comes up when a strong emotion arises. And I remember working with a person that was healing from cancer, and they had a lot of hatred and anger in the body. And when that hatred was coming up to be expressed, that person was in fetal position in so much pain. And it was really so interesting to see that as they allowed themselves to feel the hatred and the anger, so too did the physical pain leave the body. And that person said to me at the end of the healing process, "That's the most painful thing I've ever experienced in my whole life." So here they are doing all of the detoxing for healing the physical body, which can be painful, and yet it was the emotional healing process that they were describing as the most painful thing that they'd ever experienced in their whole entire life. So it's really unfortunate that we've been taught to, when we have pains like that, to run off to the doctor and get something which actually just suppresses the symptom, and then we forget about even looking for the cause, because the symptom's gone, but it's not actually gone and healed. It's still there, laying dormant, ready to, maybe manifest again later into the physical symptom again. And this is why we see that some people have the same dis-ease over and over again. Have you ever thought to yourself how weird it is that some people live to, a ripe old age, and yet they drink and they smoke and they party and they have a good time and they eat all the wrong foods, and yet someone who's so pedantic, only eats organic, and maybe they're, you know, strictest vegan or whatever they may be. And yet that person may die of a heart attack at 45 years old. And through the emotional healing processes, that's kind of really become clear to me also why that would be the case. Because, you know, maybe that first person, they don't hold any emotional baggage. They don't care. Yeah, whatever, she'll be right, mate. Nothing worries me. Whereas the other person, everything worries them. They're stressed about everything. They're worried about every single little thing that they put into their body. And yeah, it's fantastic that we should be conscious of that. But if you're bringing fear and guilt and shame and all of those emotions into that behavior, then you're turning something that's incredibly amazing for the body into something that could be very detrimental. And so again, this is just another example why it's so important to not just access the degenerative cellular memories, but also to take the time to do the healing work on that. So this week, as I promised, I'm going to talk a little bit about the chakras. So the chakras, as we have here, are the energy centers in the body. And these chakras basically pick up and emanate out energy. So I think of it as like our little radar system. It gives us the opportunity to kind of sense and feel what the vibe is, which is the vibration around us, like what that person's vibe is like, or what the vibe's like in that shopping centre. Because I know I've walked into shopping centres and then come out feeling depressed before. And, you know, that's what's happening there. We're picking up other people's vibration, and, you know, sometimes that gets stuck on our energy centres. That's why it's very important that we also incorporate this into our healing journeys, or even just a daily practice. So yeah, we have these 7 energy centres, and they all have different purposes. So we have the root chakra down the bottom. I'm not going to be able to show you all with this picture, but this is all about our instincts and survival. And so yeah, when we're in situations that are around that, it will be that particular chakra that will feel the imbalance. And then of course the organs that correlate with that chakra can be impacted. And then we have the sacral chakra. So the root chakra, I should say, is red in colour. So the resonance of the red colour is a similar vibration to the root chakra. And then we have the sacral chakra. This is all about procreation, sexuality and sensuality, and it's also about creativity. So this is orange. And yeah, so any experience that may happen in your life that is around those areas will create imbalance in the sacral chakra. And then of course all of the organs that correlate with the sacral chakra could be impacted. The next one is the solar plexus, which is the yellow one, and this is our power center. So if you've ever experienced a time in your life where you feel like someone's walking over the top of you, or you lost your power, then it will be the solar plexus chakra that will be impacted, and then all of those organs and body parts that correlate with the solar plexus. So this one's yellow in colour. Then the next one, I think you can just see that in the picture, is green, and this is the heart chakra. And the heart chakra is a really important one. Well, they're all really important, but it's the bridge between the earthly side of us and the spiritual side of us. But it's also about love and compassion. So, you know, often when we're feeling grief, if we lose someone, then it'll be the heart chakra that will be impacted, and there'll be some sort of blockage there. And then it could be the heart or the lungs or any of the other organs that correlate with that. And next week I'm going to go through a chakra meditation with you, and I will be describing to you or explaining to you each of the organs that actually correlate with each particular chakra. So yeah, so that's the heart chakra. Then we move up, which you can't see in the picture, but it's the throat chakra, and it's blue in colour. And this is all about verbal communication. So when we're not speaking up for ourselves and we're letting people, you know, dominate us without us having that opportunity to speak our truth, there'll be imbalance in the throat chakra, and then the organs that correlate to that could be impacted. Then we move up to the third eye, and this is indigo in colour, and this is about our imagination and our intuition. And so if we're blocking our intuition, which most of us do, it will be, there'll be imbalance here in the third eye chakra, and then the organs and the glands that correlate with that. The last one on the top of the head is purple in colour. Some people say it's white, so if you can see when you do the meditation, you'll know what it is for you. But each chakra is a colour of the rainbow spectrum, so it makes sense to me that you could say that was purple. And this is our connection to that divine aspect of ourself, that godling that we truly are. And so if we can place some focus here, it's going to really help us to tap into that spiritual side of us and really become reconnected with that part of ourself, which is the truth of who we are, our absolute essence. So yeah, they're the 7 major chakras. There's many more chakras apparently. This is not my specialty, but I know the very basics, and I've seen how helpful with just these very basics has been to me with my own healing journey. And now I feel like it's because of the way the world is right now, it feels to me that it's becoming imperative to every single day clear my chakras, because just energetically we're picking up all of this fear in the collective consciousness. And if we're around someone that has a low vibration, low vibe, then we feel it. I feel it very strongly, and I just might instantly feel depressed if there's someone negative around me. And so I know that all I have to do is take myself through a chakra cleansing meditation, and I can actually feel, it's like someone gets that energy and lifts it up out of my body. And so then I can stay as the high vibrational being that I want to be, and without letting somebody else's baggage drag me down. So I just feel that this is the spiritual aspect of ourself is becoming more and more important to make a priority over everything else, along with the emotional body, because to me they work really, really hand in hand. And you know what, when you're really connected to that side of yourself, you don't want to put bad shit into the body. You don't want to treat your body temple as a garbage tin. You want to do the best for, whatever it takes to stay in this beautiful place of peace and harmony within your own body. So I just think it's really, really imperative that we all just get a basic knowledge. We don't have to know anything about the chakras. Just know kind of where they are, and just have the intention and the you can use visualization, remembering that everything's energy, and your mind doesn't know the difference of whether you do something in a visualization or whether you do it in reality. The chemical changes in your body are exactly the same. So when you're intending, as you take yourself through a chakra clearing meditation, to clear those chakras, you can visualize you've got a scrubbing brush or whatever you want to do. That's actually taking place, and you'll physically feel the difference when you really get into doing this and you start to become aware of what you're feeling. So I really encourage that that people, you just learn a little bit about the chakras, where they are, and have the intention to just take yourself through a little, just close your eyes and just intend, okay, I'm clearing this chakra, and however you want to do it is perfect, because it's all about intention. And the power, as I said, of intention and visualization is incredible. So I wish you a beautiful week, everyone. I hope that this has been a little bit informative, you've got something out of it. And next week I'm going to be back with a chakra clearing meditation and other ways that you can clear and rebalance the chakras. So you'll have the recipe to heal the spiritual body. Okay, so that's it for me today. Sending lots of love to you all. Have a beautiful week, and see you soon.